Because some of the guys will be like, oh, he's a captain, he's got the role. But the thing is, with this team, I think it wouldn't have been that big of a deal because we got a bunch of underclassmen that want to get better and everything. So they'll listen to what you have to say for the most part, I feel like.
You were limited quite a bit, though, in the spring. Was that weird for you?
Oh, yeah, that's something new, you know. As it went on, it kind of bothered me more and more because you want to be out there with your guys competing and everything, and you know, you see guys talking trash, like Sosa talking trash, and I just want to go out there. I want to put the guy on his back, you know. So that's the thing that it's a little stressful like that. And obviously, I understand. I'm going to listen to Coach B. The guy's wise beyond his years, and he knows what he's been doing. He's been doing it for a long time. So obviously, I know his intentions, but the whole sitting out thing, it was tough for me. It was definitely new.
Speaking of Sosa, he had 3 sacks.
Third practice, yeah.
Well, he was back there.
I love those stats, guys. Third practice. Anyways, yeah.
Well, what'd you think of Sosa's day in his spring?
You know, Sosa is so quick twitch. You know, he's one of those physical specimens. I think that's why he was so highly ranked out of high school. And one thing you can tell, he's definitely stepped up more as a leader on that defense. It's been great to see. But he's an exciting player. It's going to be fun to see how he grows as a player throughout these years.
Well, what was your take as an offensive lineman on the 3-4 installation on the other side?
You know, because the 3-4 initially younger in my career is more of a rarity to see. You see more of an under and over defense, 4-3. But a lot of people are making that switch, and I think it's because you get 4. I mean, in the SEC, these linebackers and these D linemen are freaks. So you get 4 D linemen running around like freaks. It's a little tougher. And a 3-4 with the games and everything, defensive line run, it's a little more difficult. So I think the 3-4 is definitely going to help us. And you could tell towards the spring they got a lot better, a lot more comfortable with it. So I'm excited to see how that works out.
And what did you think of the offensive line progression throughout the spring?
You know, we took a lot of big steps, especially in the run and the pass game. But the one thing we got to keep doing is we got to strain and we got to protect the passer. That's got to be the thing this summer that I'm going to make sure myself as a leader, we're just going to strain and we're going to emphasize that we got to protect the passer because here at the University of Arkansas, the one thing we don't want to be known for is giving up sacks. And we've done, if you look in the past years, not last year, but years before, we haven't given up many sacks. And that's what I want to get it back to because it's not acceptable and it's not allowed here.
Was there anybody in the line that really you thought came a long way or particularly long way or made big strides?
I think Colton Jackson, he's got the talent. Last year he was good enough to play. It was just mental. And this spring – this offseason, before that even, the winter offseason, he really took that step like, hey, I want to be great at this. I want to do this. And even today, he gave a speech to the guys, and that's one of those kids who's a little more quiet than everyone else. And seeing him give a speech like that, show emotion, and showing so much he tries every day to work out with me. He's trying to be better, and he's one guy that's taking a big step. Otherwise, I mean, everybody's taking a pretty big step, I'd say.
What was the speech you gave, or what was that?
Oh, he just gave a speech. It was us getting fired up before the practice. And usually that's me. But, you know, I wasn't practicing, so I tried to get the other guys involved, and he gave a great speech.
So did you designate him as your –
No, he stepped up.
Oh, okay.
He stepped up to the plate, and it was great. And it was cool to see. Everyone was like, oh, and it was good to see.
What are some of the things you say to a guy like Colton to sort of help bring him back?
To motivate and everything? You know, what you got to realize is he's a redshirt sophomore. And if you start playing that young – and start to get it that young, it's only going to help you in the long haul. And that's kind of what I try to remind him. I'm like, dude, you have the chance. Like last year, I try to remember, you have the chance to play as a redshirt freshman, a starting left tackle in the SEC. And it's the same thing this year. You got a chance to start in the SEC alone, no matter what age, is ridiculous. It's not an easy thing. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more people coming here. But the fact that he could be doing that as a redshirt sophomore, and he's got all the tools to play at the next level. So that's the one thing I try to emphasize is he can do it. He just got to put it all together.
So you think it's kind of essential to keep his confidence up?
Yeah, especially, I mean, with last year's experiences, he had his ups and downs, that's for sure. And the one thing you want, confident guys, your mind is so strong. And if you could get 5 guys up there that are confident in what they're going to do, and you know that guy to the left, that guy to the right is going to do what he's going to do, it's a special thing.
What do you think when you hear Brett say, like, hey, Frank's among the best linemen I've ever coached, and knowing the list of guys he coached, what goes through your head?
I mean, it's, you get butterflies. I remember my freshman year, I'd go each and every one of these scrimmages, I'd go as hard as I can and everything, and then instantly I'd turn on his press conference and see if he'd say anything about me because I mean, I'm from Minnesota, so he was in Wisconsin. He's a celebrity. He's a guy who knows what he's doing. He's churned out Travis Frederick, Joe Thomas, so many other guys. And for him to compliment me like that, it's just, even talking to the guy in his office, it's an honor. You know, he is a special dude.
Hey, Frank, what do you think about the depth overall of the O-line this year?
Oh, it's definitely improved. First off, as guys with playing experience, I think we've got 7 guys who've played in a game, which is huge because, I mean, obviously you'd like to have a whole season of nobody getting dinged up or anything, but that's unlikely. And then another thing is we've got the 1s, we've got the 2s, and then we've even got the 3s that know what we're doing. That's the one thing this spring that I noticed the most is we had the least mental errors that I've ever seen in the spring in terms of an offensive line.
You know, protecting Austin is obviously a priority.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious this spring that there's going to be more of an emphasis on
Yeah.
What progress do you think you guys made as run blockers, and do you think there's going to be a better running game next year, especially when you have to do it?
Yeah, here's the deal. You're able to run the ball. It sets up everything. It helps your defense out. It helps your special teams out. It helps you out completely as an offense. And the one thing that we've been able, see, last year leaving spring with Coach Anderson, he had just gotten here, and we hadn't really gotten a whole grasp of all the technique and everything. So going into the summer, we didn't know necessarily what to teach and everything. This year, we've got all the tools and he's taught us. It's less worrying about the schematic things. It's just the technique and refining the process, and it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to help us a lot once we get a good work in this summer and get to this fall. I'm excited to see what happens.
Talk a little bit about the 3-4 maybe helping you guys because, you know, offensive line, if there's not much change up front in the defense, that's pretty easy to deal with.
Yeah, you know.
Moving around like that second scrimmage when
they moved, yeah.
That was hard on the offensive line.
Well, the one thing with the 3-4 is you're going to get the games that defensive linemen run are much more difficult because you have a zero nose who can go each way whenever he wants, and then you got a guy who's playing both the tackle and the guard technically with a 4-eye. So that thing I think is definitely going to help us as an offense because we go against teams like Mississippi State, Alabama, even LSU runs a 3-4. It's going to help us huge, and I think it's going to help them because it's difficult to go against.